Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today with video number 3 now, being the store and currency update as part of this new Strike Spot mini series. Now, in case you guys missed it, awesome sneak peek in terms of what to expect coming for the game. You guys recall Monday we got the heads up on what the new age was going to be looking like. Then we got the chapters and legendary introductions yesterday, and then finally, this is, I think, probably going to be the most impactful in terms of our day-to-day, which is the store and currency. There's a lot of good information that was outlined, so I did want to just quickly recap it for you guys, but as well share with this, so that way it's definitely exciting because this is something that they've been paying attention to for quite some time. So obviously great that they actually have made some changes here. First and foremost, you can say goodbye to every resource here right now, aside from the X coins, obviously, with this being limited, but there is going to be a massive overhaul of all of the currency and all the stores that we see right here. Reason being is because they've obviously one of the biggest concerns that we've had as a player is that currency doesn't mean much anymore, right? Even if you go, for example, look at my raid, I got 5.64 million there. My arena credits, I'm just buying trading mats all the time now. War credits, easily over 1.5 million respectively for just the credits, and as well as even the elite. So everything across the board is kind of in horde mode, and they're aware of this. They know players are doing this, so that's why they're phasing it out. What's going to happen now to all those currencies and resources is it's going to be converted into a legacy currency. This legacy currency, is going to be used to buy more relevant things, but more on that in a bit, because more importantly, there's going to be a new shop that's also called seasonal currency. The seasonal shop, seasonal currency, this is all going to be tying back to Annihilus, but as well, because of these new ages kicking in, they want these changes to be giving players more autonomy, more agency over what they can do. Having said that, the really cool thing was that when they were going through and talking about these new stores, especially the seasonal ones, they're going to be, first of all, limited time, and there's going to be things that we've never seen before in terms of purchases. What I mean by that, well, they actually mentioned new gear tier levels. They mentioned the newest, not just a recent character that was released, but the newest character. So some of the characters that are just coming out right now could be potentially even added as shards that you can actually purchase. This is going to give players that feeling that, hey, I've earned this currency and I'm actually getting something of value to me. And that's what they kept saying over and over. They want to give players agency and value for what they're using. Having said that, the biggest question though was, how are we going to be earning these new seasonal currencies? And I love the answer. It's going to be just engagement. It's going to be playing the game. What is that? Well, that's going through and making sure you're doing your crucible attacks, war, alliance raid, arena, and so forth. Just playing the game is going to generate those seasonal currencies. The seasonal currencies then is going to allow us now this avenue, this refreshed, more modern way to purchase. And the good news about this seasonal change is that they can keep switching it in and out. So I'll give you an example. When we covered the ages earlier this week, right? It's not on screen here, but we'll just use Apocalypse Saga for example here. Let's just assume that Pestilence is chapter 1, Famine's chapter 2, Wars chapter 3, and so forth. Well, what's going to happen now is that when you do have a new seasonal currency for chapter 1, it's going to be applicable for that chapter. That, generally they're going to try to tie back the themes and whatnot together. And then once that is done, once chapter 1's concluded in itself, that those resources that were previously purchased in that first season is going to be moving to this legacy store now. Hence the nuance here, right? Not only are they going to be able to phase out all these stores at the same time, but in theory, there should only be about maybe 2 or 3 stores by the time this is said and done. So legacy currency is going to be for the old stuff that gets phased out, in addition to the chapters that are updated. And once we move over to, like, let's say chapter 2, then the old seasonal stuff is going to transition over to legacy. So basically the season is always going to be reflecting of what's modern, up to date, reflecting the chapter that we're on, and then the legacy stuff is basically everything before and prior to. Now then, another big question that a lot of folks are wondering on is that, okay, so what's going to happen to all this? What's going to happen to all these resources that I've hoarded, all these currencies that I no longer use? Well, guess what? They're actually going to get this ability here to convert from all these old currencies into the new legacy. So that's really cool. I think that was kind of the biggest question mark in our mind was like, how are you going to make this relevant, but at the same time, how are you going to measure up all the value that we built up and actually make that meaningful? And they did say that there's going to be a treatment per store, so different stores have different value, and they're going to be determining what that conversion is going to be. But I assume obviously the more valuable currencies are going to give us more legacy currency, as opposed to the older stuff that doesn't really get used too much. Like for example, the Blitz store is probably not going to have a lot of value for legacy, but just because it's so easy and simple, and there's not a lot of value already in this Blitz store. But yeah, that in a nutshell is the update, guys. So do let me know what you think though. I think it's exciting that we're finally going to get this kind of rework in terms of the store overhaul, but at the same time making it fresh, keeping it fresh as well. And now they kind of have a game plan in terms of turning this over, so that way it does stay relevant for when there's new content, new chapters, new ages. And at the same time, now they have a solution here, which in this case, oh sorry, misclicked there, which in this case is the legacy store, being all the older stuff and obviously dated, so that way we can still use that one currency residing in the game plan there. So yeah, guys, I know I'm pumped. They did say though they don't really have an ETA right now for it, because I'm sure there's a lot of review happening, but hopefully sooner rather than later. This was more of a late idea that they came up with last year, so we'll see how long it takes for them to get this refined and obviously implemented. But I know that I'm just excited that there's going to be work on this. And yeah, so right now in the meantime, at least you can save all the resources you want, you can spend it, doesn't really matter, because it's going to be converted into something that's going to be unified that we can use going forward. So definitely exciting for sure, guys. Let me know what you think, comments below. Always been a jam-packed week here, but I mean, I've been able to hopefully get you guys the information you need. And remember, there's also a Q&A on Friday with both Pathfinder and Ryan Jacobson. So there's gonna be some more insight, I'm sure, maybe some Easter eggs here and there of who's coming around the corner, first legendary and so forth. Although we got, you know, some pretty good information from yesterday's video. Thank you for your time as always, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.